Hi there, and welcome to Graeme's Guide, Friday Live, this Friday, the 9th of July. And let's just move straight into it. What I want to talk to you today is about the group discussions. I want to look at the Future Work Skills Update article that I gave you last week, and also a quick look at the unit and course goals. Thanks for joining me this Friday, by the way. It's great to know that I had a lot of email through the week and a lot of messages with people appreciating the Friday Live chit chat. So I'm pleased that people are finding it useful. That's the whole idea. I don't want to just talk for the sake of talking. The idea is that I'm going to give you practical guidance that you can use straight away, having watched this Friday Live video, even though it's a recording. Okay, so moving on. Let's open up. Oh, I'm already here. Okay, so in the just before I go into the group discussions, highly recommend you doing this, getting started with online study. Couple of modules in here that are really useful. If you go down to, well, all of these modules are useful, but this one, module 3, accessing unit information, shows you how to get to Tanya's announcements. Tanya's announcements are going to be critical because Tanya's going to be providing key guidance for how you can pass your assessments. And then when we go into our Collaborate sessions, which is a live video session, we have 4 of those in each teaching period where you can ask questions live. We also record those, so you can watch the recording of those. But Tanya is going to provide announcements, and then we'll elaborate on what Tanya's talked about. And also, these are all supplementary to the assignment brief, and the assignment brief is actually the most important part of passing the assignments, or using that information in the assignment brief to pass the assignments. But Tanya provides her insights to how you might best succeed in approaching those assignments. And a hot tip, I would be watching Tanya's videos for that guidance. In addition to Module 3, assessing unit information, also go down here to Module 6, where it shows you how to access the learning groups and the group discussions. If you have not found the learning groups and the group discussions, you are missing out. That's where all the action happens. This module that I'm showing you, or this unit that I'm showing you, you can find it from your dashboard. It's called Getting Started with Online Study. There's another one there, Tech Skills to Get Started with Online Study. Those 2 units I highly recommend doing. They're not towards your degree or towards your course goals. They're just units to familiarize yourself with the online environment, navigation. Okay, let's go into our unit, Learning and Communicating Online. And even though I've gone to this homepage, I actually want to talk to you about the group discussions. That's the focus of my chat today. And I'm hoping that you have, if you haven't already, last week I showed you about putting a bookmark in your bookmarks bar to the unit homepage, but also to the group discussions homepage. So each group has a homepage, and you'll see here on the left menu, you can go to the homepage for the group. There's not a lot going on here, although you can see when new announcements and new discussions have been added. But the most important pages here are, well, my announcements are very important, but where you should be living while you're studying to gain the new knowledge is in the discussions. So so every day I come into these discussions and I look through all of the discussions, I read all of your posts, and I don't always provide replies or feedback, but if I see something that's that could benefit from me participating in the discussion, well then I will jump in and I'll provide some guidance. I will steer you on the right track. If you're digressing, if you're moving off the right track, I will come in and guide that discussion. And I'll also make some posts of my own if you want to ask questions. of me. Don't send me questions in email. I don't work in email. I work in the discussions. So if you send me a question in email, not only will it take me probably a couple of days to get back to you, but also you're the only one who's benefiting when I answer your email. Whereas if you use the discussions where I look every day, if you start off your discussion post, "Dear Graeme, I have a question," then I will respond probably the same day, maybe even within half an hour or an hour, because I'm regularly in the discussions. And when you ask your question in the discussions, everybody benefits from your question and the discussion that follows. You'll learn things from me when I provide my answer, but when people chip in, then you're getting multiple perspectives. And social constructivism is a type of learning, and it's when you construct knowledge, and what that means is you already have knowledge, and we provide you with, say, the readings, say the future work skills reading. Well, when you're getting that new knowledge from the future work skills reading, think about how that relates to your previous experiences. For example, cross-cultural competency is something that's spoken about. So in your previous experiences, was cross-cultural competency something that was useful in your work or home? Was being familiar with a culture other than your own, was that useful to you, or was it not? These are the sort of discussions that are going to be useful and helpful to us when you're learning the materials. When you bring your life experience and combine it with the new knowledge and then have a discussion about it, that's what we want you to be doing. And this is where you'll be posing your questions and learning and bringing that knowledge into your assignments. It's really important to have these discussions in the discussion boards, and then when it comes to the assignments, you'll have plenty of information that you can be writing about in the assignments. Okay, so that's the group discussions I've talked about. Let's go into, if you're not sure which group discussion to post a question in, if it's related to an assignment, so just say you're asking a question about assignment 2, well, find the assignment 2 discussion, where is it here, and click into the assignment 2 discussion and just ask your question here. If you've got a general question that's not really related to anything in particular, we'll just click on the general question and answer and ask your question there. Every time I see there's been a post in any of these discussions, I go in there, I read it. If I need to, if someone's asking me a question, I'll respond. Otherwise, I'm just making sure that everybody else is on track, and I will also contribute to your discussions. So better to post in the discussions than not at all. The Future Work Skills Update. So last week I shared with you this document. The essential reading for week 1 is Future Work Skills 2020. It's a report that was done several years ago, almost a decade ago now, I think. And since then, there's been an update to that article, and it's called Future Work Skills Update and Literature Review. And the reason why I mentioned this, I wonder if I can just increase the size of this a bit, because I want to, it's going to be important to have a look at this. Now, when we go down here to the table of contents, you will see here that these future work skills, now if you've done the future work skills reading, these future work skills will be familiar to you. Cross-cultural competency, social intelligence, virtual collaboration. They've combined these together under the heading people skills. Now in the future work skills, the original reading, they didn't sort of group these future work skills together in a way that sort of made sense. They were just all listed there. I mean, they made sense, and I really enjoyed that article. But when you think about virtual collaboration and social intelligence and cross-cultural competency, well, of course, these are people skills. And when you're talking about this next three, novel and adaptive thinking, cognitive load management, sense making, well, these are related to applying your new knowledge, applying knowledge. And the last ones are more workplace skills, skills that will be useful to you in the workplace. Not that these other skills won't, but these skills are more designed for or relate better to the workplace, such as new media literacy, having a designed mindset, transdisciplinarity, and computational thinking. These are workplace skills. So I really liked the way that this new updated article talks about the future work skills, and this goes on. It's quite a long article. It's very good, but so I recommend you reading it and having a look at it. But this thinking about the future work skills, the 10 future work skills that we introduced you to in that reading, when you see them under the group together like this, does it make more sense for you? Because it really did for me. I really enjoyed seeing this grouping of those 10 future work skills. Call me geeky, but I've been teaching this unit for a long time, and I hadn't thought of them in this way before I saw this article. Okay, so that brings us on to the unit and course goals. And when you've been looking at your dream careers, there's some discussion there about goals, thinking about goals. And as we go into week 2, we want you to formalize that and write down a couple of goals, a unit goal and a course goal, or 2 unit goals and two course goals. And I want to give you an idea of the sort of goals that we're talking about. Now, we're not talking about goals like getting high distinctions for every subject, or we're not talking about successfully passing this unit. We're not talking about a goal of learning how to cite and reference correctly. We're not talking about those sort of goals. Those are very admirable goals. So wanting to do well, that's an admirable goal, but we want you to choose goals that go beyond this unit and beyond your course. So we want you choosing goals that are big picture goals. And some of these future work skills, I'm going to use these as an example. So, for example, a unit goal might be that you want to develop virtual collaboration. So virtual collaboration is a future work skill. There's, in the future work skills article, it talks about why virtual collaboration is important as a future skill. So you can cite and reference the future work skills reading if you chose to have virtual collaboration as your unit goal. I've just been talking about the discussions. The discussions, that's virtual collaboration. Well, if you're not too comfortable with participating in the discussions, you may want to develop your participation and engagement in the discussion. So that could be a course goal. That could be a unit goal for you. Your unit goal might be developing your virtual collaboration in the discussion boards. And that would be a really good goal. As a course goal, I've talked about cross-cultural competency already. So, and cross-cultural competency, that's something that you can also take beyond this unit, beyond the course. For example, for teachers or for journalists or public relations, or if you're going into psychology, any of these careers where you're dealing with the general public, you're going to be dealing with people who do not have the same background necessarily as yourself. You'll be talking to people who come from very diverse cultural backgrounds. So cultural cross-cultural competency could be critical for your future work. So that would be an ideal goal as a course goal, to develop your cross-cultural competency skills. And again, you can cite, because you must cite and reference evidence for your goals. And you can cite the future work skills reading as evidence of the importance of cross-cultural competency or virtual collaboration. And as I said, these would be very good big picture goals to have. These are the sort of goals, the sort of unit goals and course goals we want you to be thinking about. So please do not say that you want that your unit goal is to pass the unit and that your course goal is to successfully pass your course, because those, while admirable, those are too small. They can't really be discussed in the way that we want you using our learning materials. We want you to use our learning materials to support the discussion of your unit goals and course goals. And at this point in time, I mean, it's only week 1, so we're only talking about the future work skills reading. But as we go through the next 12 weeks, there will be other essential readings that you'll be able to use to support your write-up of your essays and other written assessments. So look, that's probably enough from me. I've probably gone on longer than what I wanted to. Hopefully that's given you some inspiration for week 2 for choosing your unit goals and course goals and writing about them. And I look forward to discussing it in the discussion. So if I've created any questions for you from this Friday Live video, please come into the discussions. Let's talk about it there. Let's share our knowledge and questions so that everybody can benefit from that ongoing discussion. Thanks very much for joining me, and bye for now.